Welcome. Today I have a special guest, Rick Gomez here. And Rick is going to be breaking down what I consider to be one of the most powerful wealth building strategies ever created, and it's called the Rockefeller Method. But before we dive in, let me ask you something, Rick. Have you ever wondered why some families literally stay wealthy for generations while other families lose everything within a few decades?
That's the $1,000,000 question, or should I say $1,000,000,000 question? And you're absolutely right to bring it up because the contrast is stark. Take the Vanderbilt family, for example. At one point, they were the wealthiest family in America, yet by the time they had their first family reunion in 1973, there wasn't a single millionaire among them.
Wow, that is incredible. So what happened?
They spent without a plan to preserve. They built massive estates, lived lavishly, but didn't create a system to protect and grow their wealth across generations. Now contrast that with the Rockefellers. John D. Rockefeller became the world's first billionaire in the early 1900s, and today, over a century later, his descendants are still wealthy and influential.
Wow. So what's the difference? What did the Rockefellers do differently?
Well, they created what is now called the Rockefeller Method, sometimes also referred to as the waterfall concept. It's essentially a systematic approach to wealth preservation that ensures money flows from one generation to the next, like a waterfall, without being depleted by taxes, poor decision, or simply running out of money.
All right. So break this down for us. What are the core components of this method?
So there are three main pillars. First, strategic use of cash value life insurance policies. Second, irrevocable trusts that protect and control the assets. And third, a family education system that teaches each generation how to be good stewards of wealth. These three elements work together to create a financial machine where money never stops working.
Well, let's start with the life insurance piece because I think that really surprises people, right? When people think about building wealth, nobody thinks about the life insurance first, right?
Exactly. And that's what makes this so counterintuitive yet powerful. The Rockefellers use specially designed cash value life insurance policies, but not term insurance, but permanent policies with cash value.
Okay.
These policies serve multiple purposes. They grow tax deferred, they can be borrowed against without triggering taxes, and they provide a tax-free death benefit that replenishes the family's trust.
So it's not just about the death benefit then?
Not at all. In fact, during your lifetime, the cash value becomes a personal bank.
Wow.
Let's say your child needs money for college, or your child wants to start a business. Instead of going to a bank, they can borrow the money from the policy. The money comes out tax-free, and if they pay it back with interest, that interest comes back to the family's trust, not to a bank.
Wow, that is fascinating. So the family essentially becomes their own bank.
Precisely. And here's where it really gets powerful. When that first generation passes away, the death benefit, which could be substantial, flows tax-free into the trust. That money then gets used to purchase policies on the next generation. It cascades down like a waterfall, generation to generation.
That's why we call it the waterfall concept. I like it.
Exactly. Now let's talk about the second pillar, the trust structure. The Rockefellers used irrevocable trust, which means once assets go in, they are protected from creditors, lawsuits, and even from family members' poor decisions.
So you're taking away control to protect the money?
In a way, yes. The Rockefellers had a famous saying, own nothing, control everything.
Okay.
The trust owns the assets, but the family maintains control through the trust terms. You can set rules about when beneficiaries can access funds, what they can use the money for, and even require financial education before they receive distributions.
Okay. Well, that's smart. It protects future generations from themselves in a way.
Absolutely. Think about lottery winners. Most are broke within a few years because they didn't have a financial education structure to handle wealth.
Yeah.
The Rockefellers method built the structure in from the beginning.
Well, what about the third pillar, family education?
This is perhaps the most overlooked aspect, but arguably the most important.
Wow.
The Rockefellers held regular family meetings, taught their children about money from a young age, and instilled values and stewardship and responsibility. Wealth without wisdom is temporary. Wealth with wisdom becomes a legacy.
So this isn't just about money. It's about creating a family culture around wealth.
Exactly. And that's what makes it sustainable. You can have all the trust and insurance in the world, but if the next generation doesn't understand the responsibilities that come with its wealth, it'll be gone in a generation.
Wow. This is fascinating. Well, let me ask you this. Is this only for the ultra wealthy? Can regular families implement it?
Well, that's the beautiful thing. While the Rockefellers had billions, the principles scaled down. Okay. You don't need to be a billionaire to start a cash value life policy. Set up a trust and teach your children about money. Absolutely, the numbers will be different, but the strategy is the same. You're planting a tree whose shade you never sit under, but your grandchildren will.
Well, I love that analogy. So if someone is watching this and thinking, well, I want to start this for my family, what's the first step?
First, get educated. Really understand how cash value life insurance works. Not just from a salesperson, but from a fiduciary advisor like yourself. Second, think about your values and what you want your legacy to be. The financial structure should reflect your family's values. Third, assemble your team. You'll need a good insurance agent who understands infinite banking concepts, an estate attorney who can set up the trust properly, and a financial advisor who can coordinate everything.
So you're saying this is not a DIY project?
Definitely not. The Rockefellers had a team of experts working for them. And while you may not need a full-time staff, you do need qualified professionals who understand this strategy.
Well, this has been an incredible introduction. In our next video, y'all, we're going to dive deeper into each of these pillars. Rick, thank you so much for breaking this down for us.
My pleasure. Remember, the best time to plant the tree was yesterday. The second best time is today. The same applies to building your family's financial legacy.
So this is a perfect place to end. Everybody, please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because in our next video, we're going to do a deep dive into how whole life insurance actually works. Thanks for watching. Listen, I'm Juanita Stevens. You can find me at jstevenswealthmanagement.com, or you can always call us at 512-598-9080.